This is another game of Warp's Edge in its basic configuration using the Achilles fighter against the Dread. We had some key learnings from our past matches. From the last one, I learned that I should not remove too many tokens from the bag, which seems obvious. But even then, if you upgraded the tokens to higher levels and removed the level 1s, you will still run out of steam quite quickly, especially if you have an enemy lineup with lots of enemies that make you draw. Also, I realized that I didn't use my permanent skill once in the game, so I should really pay attention to using that. Then there were some instances of playing too hasty, and there were much better plays that I could take, which sometimes I found, maybe sometimes not. Also, I should pay attention that if I assign an overdrive or a photon blast to two enemies and resolve one, that I can no longer take the token back. I think it did not matter in the last match, but I did make a mistake once, but then the token got discarded anyway. So, with all this knowledge about the game from my first two matches, I hope we can have a clean, decisive victory against the Dread using Achilles, so we can move on to other combinations of fighters and motherships. As usual, before we can begin our first warp, we have the choice between two skills that kind of determine part of the strategy of this run. The first choice is advanced maneuvering, funnily enough, that we already played. I think to good success actually. The other choice is loop around, which is a permanent ability where I have to remove one maneuver token from my bag, and in step 4 of each turn you may return to the bag any number of tokens you draw, then draw that number of tokens again. So this kind of means I can repair my hand, so put back tokens and then redraw them. But advanced maneuvering is just such a good skill. It makes one turn evasion really key in one turn, and more often than not the evade results are much better than the destruction results. So I'm kind of still leaning to advanced maneuvering, although we already played with this. Let's go with that, yes. So loop around goes to the back of the pile. Advanced maneuvering goes to my skill area. The pilot planning gives me our first 5 tokens, which is the Warhammer already, and then a mix of everything with a slight tendency to lasers. The first enemy arrivals are a Viper, a Reaver, a Scout, and an Intruder. I cannot help but notice that I again got the Viper and the Reaver, which makes me draw, depending on how I defeat them. But then again, I have all the options I want, I think, because it will not be a problem to evade the Viper to get the level 2 laser. And I think I will not evade the Reaver if I can help it. So the question is if I store the Warhammer for later, for the tougher enemies. We have one more level 1 enemy ahead of us, and then we are already in level 2s. So it might be a good idea to store that. But then again, I cannot defend against all the enemies. And if I have anything in my token discard, if I get shield damage, I have to remove a token from the game permanently. I do also not have enough energy to activate advanced maneuvering, which funnily enough could mean that I should destroy the Viper to draw, and then maybe I have enough to evade the Reaver. So I guess that's actually the best plan I can come up with currently. So if I'm assigning 2 lasers here, this will destroy the Viper and I draw 3 more tokens. This would not give me a level 2 laser that I actually was attempting to get, and I would evade the Reaver instead, which makes me draw again. So this is not a good plan. Alright, so maybe I should not hold back with the Warhammer and instead do the following. I should start evading the Viper to get to this better result and not draw. Destroying the Reaver for the Photon Blast will actually be a good idea. If I don't destroy it now, it will just remove the laser tokens at the enemy turn. So this would be a good candidate to Warhammer. So I get a Photon Blast as a reward, which means I can stun the remaining enemies, both with one laser. I will not reveal any new enemies, and I don't think that's good. Well, I do. Actually, by defeating the Reaver, I will reveal one more enemy. So one key learning of the past missions was also that if you are drawing too many tokens and don't reveal new enemies, and then you defeat everything, tokens can get to waste. And this will also be inefficient, so you might not have enough tokens to finally kill the mothership. Okay, so let's do this. So the Warhammer destroys the Reaver. The Reaver is destroyed, and I add a Photon Blast to the bag. This will not evade this enemy, and the lasers will not defeat them. So it's now the enemy attacks. I'm storing a level 1 energy token, and in enemy attacks, this will be stunned, the Scout will be stunned, the Intruder will be stunned. So the draw will give me the Photon Blast I just added, and many of the remaining tokens of my starting bag. I'm starting with 11 tokens, I've drawn 10, I've added 1, so there should only be 2 tokens left in the bag. If I want another turn in this warp, I have to add 3 tokens to the bag, which should not be that difficult. Okay, so adding this maneuvering token to the Viper will evade it for a level 2 laser. I could add the Photon Blast here, but this will be overkill for both enemies, so I should rather store it, I guess. This leaves me with a lot of energy and a level 2 laser only, which again would mean that I take shield damage, which would remove a token permanently from the game. Maybe I shouldn't be so hung... I forgot the enemy rivals. So let's wind that back. The enemy rival is a Stalker. Alright, so let's outmaneuver or evade the Viper. And I think I should just do that. I don't think there's any sense in doing anything else. This defeats the Viper, and I add a level 2 laser to the bag. Now, since I do not want to take shield damage and discard a token permanently, I will use the Photon Blast, probably here, to be more efficient, and 2 damage already to the Stalker. But then again, I would need to assign the level 2 token here, which is overkill as well. Does it actually matter? Probably not, because I want to destroy everything. I can't evade it anyway. I want to see the next enemy fighters, and I need to add tokens to the bag. So no matter how I place this, everything will get 2 damage. Everything will be no, it won't be destroyed. The Stalker is missing one damage. And I don't think there's any assignment that will solve this problem. So let's just stick with the assignment that I have, which will mean the Stalker will take 2 damage, and I'm not destroying it now. Which might be good, because I then do not reveal too many more advanced enemies right away. So the Photon Blast destroyed the Scout, which gave me a level 1 laser token to the bag. This level 1 laser will destroy the Intruder, which will give me 1 maneuver token to the bag, which is a good balance, I think, I hope. So these are discarded, and in the enemy attacks, the Photon Blast will go here. But before that, I can think about what I want to do with my energy here. I would have enough energy to buy a level 3 energy token, but I'm not sure that I actually want to do that. Since I have 1 more maneuver token in the bag, and I haven't used my advanced maneuvering yet, I think I will just store the 2 energy here, because there will not be other energies in the bag. So I will use these 2 to then just buy either a maneuvering token or a laser. So far, I added a level 2 laser by evading. I added a level 1 laser and a maneuver token. And a Photon Blast, which also counts as firepower. So seeing that I have advanced maneuvering, I tend to just add another maneuver token to the bag with my 2 energy I paid. Alright, so this should give me enough tokens in the bag for another turn in this first warp. Let's draw 5 tokens. So I have drawn a lot of maneuvering, a bit of laser. I have the energy to activate it, and there's 1 token in the bag. It has to be a token I added, so it probably is level 1 laser token. The enemy arrivals are a Flame, which is really nice, since it gives me Warhammer access and access to Photon Blast. Marauder, again something that makes me draw if I just Warhammer it, so it's a prime target for evasion. And a Ghost. So I have 1 token in the bag, so if I would add 4 tokens to the bag, I could have another turn. The question is if I really want that or not, or if I want to just draw out. My firepower is very limited. I could defeat the Stalker, obviously, because it's already weakened with the Photon Blast, but all the other enemies have far too much health. So I think I have to activate advanced maneuvering, and then I can start evading enemies. With the tokens I have, the most efficient way would be 1 level 3 enemy, but so an enemy that needs 3 maneuver tokens, and 1 that needs 2. That would be the most efficient way to do it. The question is, what do I want more? A Warhammer, level 2 laser and 1 maneuver token, or level 2 energy? So when it comes to evading, I think I have to evade this anyway, unless I think I can go another turn. But there's really no way without energy and with these enemies here to add 4 tokens to the bag. Well, I can actually, and maybe I should. I think that's one of the pivotal points already of this first warp, if not of the whole mission. Do I go for another turn to reveal more enemies to make it more difficult for me, but adding lots of more tokens? Or do I want to cut my bag 1 token short so that the warp already ends? So the pro for continuing would be that I see more difficult enemies, and if I actually get a Warhammer, for example, I have a way to defeat them, and I could build up my bag more, but I will probably take shield damage in the last turn. And then, well, do I need to take shield damage? If I have 5 tokens, there's always a chance that I can stun everything. So I really don't want to be too slow. So let's evade the Marauder by assigning 2 maneuver tokens, which gives me 2 tokens already to the bag. So this is 1 maneuver token and level 2 laser. And I cannot help but feel that level 2 laser tokens are nice, and with the advanced maneuvering, maneuver tokens are nice as well. I will then kill the Stalker, so I add another maneuver token to the bag. The Stalker goes here, the maneuver token to the bag. And then to add a final token to the bag, I'm evading the Ghost using the advanced maneuvering. This defeats the Ghost, and I get a level 2 energy token to the bag. This leaves me with level 2 laser, which I assign to the Flame to stun it. The advanced maneuvering is spent. I'm discarding this which brings us to the enemy attacks. The flame is stunned. The next pilot plans will draw the rest of the bag, which is exactly 5 tokens as planned. And these 4 tokens should allow me to stun everything, depending on the skills of the ships, obviously. So the enemy rivals are a shade. While this enemy is in play, all tokens cost 1 extra energy to buy. This ability cannot be stunned. So if I would want to buy anything, that would be more expensive. The first level 3 enemy is a glaive. This enemy deals 1 damage to your hull. That's bad if it's not stunned. And the last arrival is a siphon. This enemy deals 4 damage to your shields. If your shields are at 0, it deals 1 damage to your hull instead. So all of these enemies can be stunned. In this sense, I think that's a good decision. Unless I shuffle really badly and draw like all of these in my first hand with a really bad first draw. This could cut my second warp, for example, really short. Alright, so with 2 maneuver tokens, I could actually evade the shade completely, which would add a level 2 energy token to the bag. My plan is to stun everything, and this means I have to assign 1 token to everything. I would not defeat anything, I would not evade anything, but I would not get any shield damage either. And this pretty much means that I am stunning the flame with lasers, I'm outmaneuvering the shade and the glaive, I'm stunning the siphon with lasers, I'm storing this in my hold, because buying anything would not work, because it's costing extra, so I could only buy a level 1 laser, which I really do not want to do. Okay, so the enemy attacks are flame is stunned, shade is stunned, glaive is stunned, siphon is stunned. The pilot plans would mean I draw, but I can't draw anything, so this ends my current warp. We will see if this was a good decision or not to already reveal almost all enemies. There's only 1 level 3 enemy left in the pile. So the tokens all go back in the bag. We added a lot of maneuvering tokens. We added a lot of level 2 lasers. Well, not a lot, just 2. Level 1 laser. And I think a fair bit of energy. The advanced maneuvering is ready and I'm shuffling the enemies. And then I'm putting them on top. I draw my first 5 tokens. So lots of maneuvering. Another level 2 energy and a level 1 laser. We increase the warp counter, and then we start with the enemy arrivals of warp 2. First enemy is a Reaver, second a Viper, so I'm already counting myself lucky that I get level 1 enemies. There's a Marauder, and finally a Ghost. Again, 3 enemies that make me draw, which is a bit sad, but I have my advanced maneuvering, and I'm tempted to outmaneuver the Reaver, the Viper, and maybe even the Marauder, because if I outmaneuver the Reaver, I can draw. And since I need all these tokens, including energy, for this evasion plan, I will not be able to stun everything else, so drawing is actually not that bad. So let's do that. I'm activating advanced maneuvering in my first turn, and I'm evading the Reaver. I then add 3 tokens from the bag, and I'm lucky it includes another maneuvering token and a bit of laser. So this means I'm evading the Viper and I'm evading the Marauder. They are both defeated and I get 2 level 2 lasers and 1 maneuvering token. So 2 level 2 lasers and 1 maneuvering token, both to the bag. These are discarded, which leaves the Ghost. I will definitely stun it and I think I will just hold on to my energy and will assign the rest of the lasers to the Ghost. It does not defeat the Ghost because it has 5 hull. But I feel quite content with this first turn of the second warp. So the enemy attacks mean the Ghost is stunned. The tokens go here. And the pilot plans are a Photon Blast, level 2 laser, Warhammer, maneuver, and an energy. So a little bit of everything. And the new arrivals are a Flame, a Stalker, and a Siphon. I feel like I've spent a lot of maneuver tokens already. So this is actually discarded as well. And I've spent the advanced maneuvering, obviously. So evading the Siphon might not be in the cards, which would give me a power token at level 3 laser, which is really potent. But again, I'm not sure how to do that. If I Warhammer it instead, I get a maneuver token and a shield recharge, which I can't really use, which comparatively is really bad result. But since I haven't removed anything from the bag yet, I know that there are 2 more maneuver tokens that I start with, and I have 1 that I add later on. So I will be able to stack up 3 maneuver tokens. So that should be the plan here. And again, the Siphon has a really nasty ability that it deals 4 damage to the shields, or if my shields are at 0, it deals 1 damage to the hull, but it can be stunned regularly, so that's not a big deal. So is there a good Warhammer target? Probably not the Ghost, because it only needs 1 laser. I think the Flame might be a good target, but then again I have more tokens to assign here. I could hold on to the Warhammer, buy something for 3, and just use these to, well, kill the Ghost, and then Photon Blast these 2, which would mean, again, only 1 enemy is changed. But I'm not sure this is a bad thing, seeing that these enemies are quite strong. So let's do that. I feel that gives me more options later. So I'm photon blasting the flame and the stalker. I'm assigning the 2 damage to the ghost, which actually kills the ghost. These tokens are discarded after I get my reward. It actually has the same reward as the siphon, which is 1 maneuver token I get to the bag, and I would recharge my shields, which are not damaged yet. I'm holding on to the Warhammer. The ghost is actually discarded. And for 3, I'm buying. And probably I should buy a power token this time. With the advanced maneuvering, I'm tending towards overdrive. I don't have any yet. And this really makes advanced maneuvering better, but only if I have it in the right turn. So I'm paying 3, or do I want a level 3 laser? I forgot the skill. Okay, so let's do that now. The skill options are home away from home, refresh 1 exhausted skill card. That sounds really interesting. I have so many maneuver tokens in my bag that using advanced maneuvering twice sounds really good. The other option is small black hole, which requires 2 maneuver tokens to activate, and I can prevent all damage this turn. I think home away from home is far too good to pass on, so this goes under the deck, and this is something I would have gotten at the beginning of Warp 2, which is still going on, so this is not a big deal. We can easily fix that. So I was in the process of buying something for 3, and I think I will take the overdrive because it really allows me to get the most out of advanced maneuvering. In the enemy attack phase, the Photon Blast goes here, and they are both stunned, and the Siphon is stunned by maneuvering, which goes here. So the planet plans are 2 maneuver tokens and a lot of lasers, and the new enemy rival is a Shade. So I do not want to pass up the opportunity to fully evade the Siphon, and I think I should just do that, so it's immediately defeated. I get a level 3 laser token to my bag, and another power token, and I think I will take a Warhammer to get faster through the enemy line in the coming warps. And seeing that I do not evade the flame this time, I will not get the Warhammer from the flame. I can defeat the Stalker with 1 more laser, so the Photon Blast goes there. This is discarded. I'm adding a maneuver token to the bag. Since I just added a Warhammer token to the bag, I think I will use the Warhammer token I have now. I will just Warhammer the Shade. So it's defeated for level 2 laser token, which I add to the bag. And adding 2 more level 2 lasers to the flame will just defeat it, which gives me another Photon Blast to the bag. We'll see if blasting through the enemy line like this is a good idea or not. So first, the enemy attacks is nothing. So the pilot plans are 3 maneuver tokens and a lot of laser power. The enemy rivals are a Glaive, a Scout, an Intruder, and the final enemy we haven't seen yet is an Apocalypse. 9 hull sounds daunting, and it would do 4 damage, and I can add tokens I've already used back to the bag if I evade it. But this will probably be a prime target for a Warhammer. So how many tokens do I still have in the bag? It feels like at least 5. So we are in no rush actually. All enemies can be stunned and outmaneuvered as usual. The question really is what I want from these low-level enemies. Do I want level 1 lasers, energy, maneuver token? We already have lots of maneuver tokens. Okay, let's try to stack up some lasers here for the ability to put 2 tokens back into the bag and just assign 1 maneuver token to all the other enemies. This will evade the Intruder for level 1 laser, and it will evade the Scout for a level 1 energy token. In the enemy attacks, the Apocalypse is just stunned, and the Glaive is stunned with 5 damage as well. The pilot plans are a Warhammer, a bit of energy and lasers, and there are no enemy arrivals. The bag contains 3 tokens, so if I can add 2, I will have another turn. Alright, so the plan was to Warhammer the Apocalypse, which will give me any token from the supply. And I will take level 3 lasers since we are now approaching the mothership and I just need to do damage. I just added 1 token to the bag, so if I'm buying anything I will have enough for another draw. So I will probably assign 1 damage here, so it's 6 of 7. I will store the 2, so the mothership is still protected, and I will buy probably just level 2 laser to have even more firepower against the mothership. In the enemy attacks, the Glaive is just stunned. The pilot planning draws me the remainder of the bag, which is an overdrive. It's unfortunate to see so late, but then again, it can outmaneuver 2 parts of the mothership if I can't defeat more. A Photon Blast, which is nice, and a lot of lasers. So I will add the 1 remaining damage to the Glaive. It will be destroyed and allow me to put 2 tokens back to the bag. I'm not sure this is important at all because the bag is currently empty. And even if I defeat 2 sections of the mothership, there will only be 4 tokens in the bag. But then again, let's just do it. Add lots of lasers back to the bag. Well, actually, let's take a Photon Blast. Alright, so I have a bit of firepower here. I can assign the Photon Blast, and then 2 more level 2 lasers will defeat the first section of the mothership, which gives me a level 3 laser to the bag as a reward. And the overdrive will mean that I stun the other 2 sections. I can assign the level 3 laser wherever. Mean it's up to 5 damage now, but it still means I'm lacking 3 damage. The mothership won't do any damage to me because of the overdrive, but the pilot plans will mean I'm short. I have lots of firepower, but unfortunately the war will end here. So I'm readying the advanced maneuvering. I'm adding all the tokens back to the bag. I will give the enemies a good shuffle. The deck is placed here. We advanced the warp marker. And this time I'm not forgetting to get a new skill. The choice is between the energy bolt, which counts as 5 lasers against one target but cannot stun. This is nice. And the bright red jacket. Targets require 1 less laser to destroy this turn. I think I like turning a level 2 laser into level 5. So this goes back under the pile and the energy bolt is put to my skill. So I give the bag another good shuffle and draw my first pilot planning tokens. So lots of firepower. Enemy rivals are a flame, a reaver, and a scout. So evading the flame might give me my last Warhammer, and destroying the reaver will give me my last Photon Blast. I'm only in warp 3, but then again, why not? So I think I will just blast these two, which defeats the scout, gives me level 1 laser token to the bag. This will go here, and I can't re-assign it. This will be stunned, so I can defeat the ghost as well, and the reaver. So this is 4 damage, I get the last Photon Blast. This is 5 damage, I get another maneuver token, and I would recharge my shield. In the enemy attack phase, the flame is stunned. Pilot planning gives me a lot of maneuvering, a bit of laser. Unfortunately, no energy to use advanced maneuvering. Enemy rivals are the Viper, the Siphon, and the Stork. So let's do the same thing as last time and work on evading the Siphon. I think I want to probably draw first with the Viper, because this might give me energy to evade more enemy. Let's do that. Destroy the Viper, draw 3 tokens from the bag, and there is a level 2 enemy. So I think we'll use that now to activate advanced maneuvering, which means the flame now only takes 2 maneuver tokens to evade. It's evaded, and I get the last Warhammer, putting that into the bag. The Siphon will now only take 2 tokens to evade, so it's defeated. It gives me level 3 laser and another power token. And I think it will just take an Electrobot. Maybe come in clutch at the end to defeat the mothership. So I can only add a power token, so I have to decide from those. These are discarded, which leaves me with the Stalker. I think I will store the evade, the maneuver token. I will just assign those 2 to the Stalker to not let it go to waste. In the enemy attack phase, the Stalker is stunned. The advanced maneuvering is now used, but I can always reactivate it with Home Away from Home. But I didn't think I need to do it right now because I might want to use the energy bolt twice. So the pilot plans are a Warhammer, Photon Blast, lasers, and a maneuver token. Enemy rivals are a Marauder, a Glaive, and an Apocalypse. Again, I would like to Warhammer the Apocalypse. Let's start it as a plan. This would defeat the Stalker. This would stun both enemies by Photon Blasting them. There are only 2 cards left, which means I'm not sure I actually want to reactivate advanced maneuvering. I haven't used any Warhammers yet, so I will have enough to blast the last 2 cards if I draw them. So I will assign the 3 lasers to the Marauder, to the Glaive. Probably to the Marauder, because I think I want to draw this time, and this can just be Warhammered. So I'm assigning this somewhere else. Well, let's just first execute these things here. So this gets destroyed for 1 maneuver token, which I add to the bag. The Warhammer destroys the Apocalypse, which gives me any token. I will just take a level 3 laser to the bag. This would already destroy the Marauder, so this is not a good plan. Do I just want to destroy the Glaive and then refresh the energy bolt right away? So I could activate the energy bolt. So this would mean it's 7 damage to the Glaive. This goes here, I can't reassign it. I'm moving 2 tokens back to the bag, which would be a level 3 laser and a Photon Blast. In the enemy attack phase, this will go here, and I will just assign it here to not lose it. Well, actually, I don't need to. I can use Home Away from Home. So this gets discarded, but this refreshes the energy bolt, and now only this skill is used. Enemy attack phase, as said, the Marauder is stunned. Pilot planning gives me lasers and maneuver tokens. The enemy rivals are a Shade and an Intruder, so no Warhammer yet. I think I will just evade the Shade. This gives me a level 2 energy token to the bag. I will defeat the Intruder. This gives me a level 1, a maneuver token to the bag. And at that point, I will just assign that here to not lose it. I will store the level 3. I will assign that here, so it's 3 damage currently. In enemy attacks, this is stunned by laser, fire, and maneuvering. There are no enemy arrivals. And the pilot plans are the Warhammer, laser, Photon Blast, and evade token. So the Warhammers are now almost useless. So I will just use it on the Marauder to draw and to not spend any more tokens on it. So I'm adding 3 more tokens to my current pool. So there's the Electrobot, there's an Overdrive, and a Photon Blast. Okay, so now let's make quick work of the mothership. I don't see why I would not add the Photon Blast here. It will not stun anything because the mothership is stun resistant. I will assign the Electrobot here. That's already 3 damage, so there's 5 missing. 5 I can get by activating the energy bolt. This will destroy the middle section of the mothership. The electrobot will jump here with the Photon Blast, which I also cannot reassign. I get any token I want, so I take a level 3 laser to the back. This is at 3 damage now, 3 damage here, and I just destroy the last section of the mothership, which gives me, well, a level 3 energy token, but it's pointless because we have won. So that was a very quick match with a decisive victory in Warp 3. With still lots of tokens in the bag. So I'm not sure I've made any mistakes. I will review that later, obviously, when cutting. Maybe we have learned our lesson now, and this easiest difficulty of the dread with Achilles is now something we can easily tackle. That would be nice. We'll see.